Hey folks, Tracy again with RX Performance and the RX catch can system, oil separating crankcase evac. We're here at Sarasota Ford, the brand new building facility. They just finished a huge remodel, one of the best equipped Ford dealerships in the state of Florida. Sarasota Ford is an authorized installer and dealer of the RX systems. Real popular with the Ford F-150 EcoBoost. Today what we're doing is an installation on a 2012 Volkswagen GTI. Sporty, popular car, direct injection, intake valve coking issues. And this has been a headache for everybody involved. So, first thing we do, we've already taken off the engine cover, pops right off. The can, we're going to mount the short L with the main bolt down. We're going to use the slot closest to the engine. We're going to put it about a ½ inch down from the top, seems to be about right for clearance. We're going to include a M6 nut and washer to mount this. We're going to be mounting it right on this exposed stud on the forward motor mount bolt. Get myself in a little better angle here. This will allow the drain to be accessible. Take my socket, get this secured down. And don't over tighten it so you snap that, but just good and snug. It's not going to come loose, it's not going to go anywhere. That allows us to reach the drain valve, put a little cup under there to catch the oil and other compounds that we're catching. And now we've got the can mounted. Center of the can is always the inlet coming from the crankcase. I'm going to point out first the foul or the dirty side on this. We've got a built-in oil baffle separator that's about 20 to 25% effective, much better than the previous generations of the Volkswagen turbocharged 4-cylinder. We're taking our crankcase gases and we're evacuating them into the intake manifold. There's a one-way check valve built into this that prevents, when this comes into boost, intake manifold becomes pressurized, so you're not pressurizing your crankcase. The clean side is taking filtered fresh air from the main air box. Downstream of the mass airflow sensor, this is a MAF-equipped engine. And they're taking it from right down here on the inlet tube. So filtered fresh air goes in this, foul vapors are evacuated out this. What we're going to do is remove this. We're simply going to squeeze both sides of the retaining clip, and we're going to take these off. The factory barbs we're going to reuse, and if you get them warm you can get them off. Otherwise a little slit in the hard plastic tube should be enough to release it. careful not to cut yourself. So we're going to be able to now snap this back into place. We're going to run one of our lines from this, and you're going to have to push this on firmly. Going to make sure that this doesn't kink. We're going to take one of our 90-degree AN fittings with our billet one-way check valve, making sure that the arrow is pointing away from the can. Screwing that onto here. And we're going to cut this to length. And now, evacuation is going to take place at idle, deceleration, and light cruising when the turbo is not making boost. We're going to be using intake manifold vacuum to evacuate. Yes, sir.
I need to see.
Okay. We're going to do the same thing with the other side of this. Again, you can take this stock factory line, set it aside and keep it if you wanted to. And let's see if that should be long enough. Again, the second outlet, arrow flowing away from the can. And don't over tighten these, snug them down by hand. And then you'll be able to put a wrench on it and just get it snug. Alright, that's not going to be quite long enough. A little bit of oil or WD-40 will help this hose slide on here. You're going to want to make sure you've got it on there good and snug so it doesn't pop off. And snaps right back into place. Going to measure it to length. And then we're going to cut our line. And slide it over up. But you're going to have to back up on this one. So, okay, we're going to put this 3/8 to 1/2 inch adapter be in your kit. And then we're going to measure. Cut this. And this is our inlet from the crankcase coming into the center of the can. And we've got crankcase, oil-laden vapors going into the oil separating system, intake manifold vacuum for primary evacuation at idle, deceleration, and very light throttle when there's no boost present. Now we need a boost suction. So what we're going to do is get the clean side. We're going to deal with later when we develop a proper mount for our clean side separator. So we're going to take a 1/2 inch drill bit and put some grease or Vaseline to keep out The shavings, plastic shavings, are going to be minor and not going to be an issue. You are going to need a 3/8 NPT tap. Just run it in slightly so you can start some threads, so the barb that we put on here. Okay, now that we've got our barb installed, we're simply going to put hose that we've also measured the length, hook it up to our one-way check valve, again flowing away from the can. Both the outlets flow away. Double check all of our connections, all of our fittings, make sure the drain is closed, and we're ready to start it up. I'm going to jump in and start it. Verify we don't have leaks.
What a nice clean installation. 2 vacuum sources and the incoming into the can, pulling all the dirty vapors out.
So we have no check engine lights, we have no vacuum leaks. How this is going to work: the intake manifold is going to provide evacuation at idle, deceleration, and light throttle, any non-boost operation. Primary check valve is going to close if it senses any pressure from the intake manifold from boost. Secondary valve will then open and use the turbo inlet pipe suction for evacuation after that. Crankcase vapors drawn through the can to scrub, separate the vapors. Going to snap our cover back into place here. And we're good to go. Make sure none of the lines are kinked. Turn this a little bit, get a little better angle right there. So we've wrapped this up. We've got a nice clean installation. Again, a 2012 Volkwagen GTI Turbo. Stay tuned with us. We have to fabricate a clean side adapter to this so we can complete it. But 95% of correcting your oil injection issue has been done now. So can will need to be emptied probably every oil change, every 4,000 to 5,000 miles. Dispose of the collected oil and other compounds with drain oil as you would with any drain oil. And that's it. This is the 2012 GTI we're finishing. We've got the RX clean side separator installed. Simple replaces oil fill cap. To put oil in, comes off, real simple. We're bringing it back and we add the 90-degree fitting right here, which is downstream of the mass airflow sensor, airflow going this route. All air is metered. So we've got a closed system. This is separating and trapping oil from entering the intake air tube. We've got our evacuation in-boost outlet here, secondary outlet. This one right here for primary and non-boost. And our crankcase vapors. As you can feel, this is nice and hot, showing it's been working properly. So, and that is it for the GTI.
RxPerformanceProducts.com.